keep up this week. Come down here. Come down here by me. Come here. You guys come by me here. Come up by me here. Vida, come. Just sit back. You come up here, Vida. Come right here. Can you sit? Can you sit? Can you sit down there? Just sit, Vida. Sit. Sit. Can you sit? Good. Good. Can you sit? Sit down. So I got the Luna pups with Vida here today. These are 4 of the 7 that I have, and Vida's helping me raise these guys. She's looking after them, helping me keep them organized, and she does a phenomenal job. But she's coming to the end of her milk. She still has milk, but not much. These guys I feed all the time, and whatever else they can scavenge out of Vida, they do. Vida's a sister to Luna. Vida's a year younger than Luna. Luna was born a year before Vida. Can you sit? Can you sit? Can you sit? Come. Sit. Can you sit? Good girl. Let's just get these guys on you for a minute. Just let them hang out. That's my girl. That's my girl. That's my baby. That's my baby. So Vida has helped out a tremendous amount, just to allow me the opportunity to have somebody care for these pups while I feed them, because that takes some doing. When they're little, you see, they need a hand to go to the washroom, all those things, you see, and a female is so much better at it. Like, they're able to promote them to go and all those things. It's just huge advantages having a couple of these females around. Now, Vida is a daughter of Dakota, and Vida is the last whelping daughter. Luna whelped last, but she was a year older than Vida. Vida was the final pup that he had in the whelping program. She just happened to whelp 3 weeks ahead of Luna this time around. But it's profound that here she is helping out preserve these old bloodlines, and her dad just passed away just before these pups were born, and Luna's sitting right on the other side of him, and Vida on that side and Luna on this side of them, and they both got pups carrying on the lineage, right? And what's really quite fascinating is right at the first 48 hours of Vida's own litter, Vida's a heavy milker in the beginning, so she milked like crazy, remember? And the bag goes hard because the brand new little guys can't take all the milk. She had 4 wonderful pups, and I filmed them the other day. That's Rocky and that crew. But she has more milk than they can take, so her bag gets hard. Now, if you can't get that milk out, that's how you can destroy the bag on a female and give them mastitis and infection and different things. So luckily I had Letta, and her pups were like 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old, right? I had Letta right there with her pups. So what I did, of course, is I pulled Letta's big guys in, set them in on tuba, put all 6 of them on, and moved the 4 of Vida's over onto Letta. And you see them big guys, they can drain that milk out right away and save her bag. Drain it right completely dry, because they're already 4 weeks old. They're huge, right? They about lift her up. And there's 6 of them, so they just, boom, gone. That milk was empty. And they did it again, boom, her bag was empty. Pretty soon I can just, a couple hours later, put Vida's pups back on, and now they can keep up because her milk had been clean dried out. So then it saves everybody. So the common theme around my operation, of course, is utilize these females as best you can in all areas. So it's really profound. Now, we were talking about the work that Tuba's done, but Vida has been very helpful as well. A year ago, when Vida and Luna each had those litters, the same thing occurred with Vida. And what I needed to do was switch those litters, because they couldn't keep the milk taken out of Vida, so I put Luna's pups on Vida and put Vida's on Luna. And you know, it's just it's a wonderful thing that all these females work as teams and work together, and it really makes life good for me, even in times of tough situations, to have these females that are so good. So this group I feed all the time, and I'll be feeding tubas straight through again now. I'll just start back on feeding them, and then I feed tubas real pups all the time as well. And I've got the Vida real pups over there, and then of course I have the Leda pups outside. They're in a snowstorm today. It's storming like crazy. They love it outside though. They live out there now. And then I have Jaeger. He's out hunting somewhere. He's out here too. So I have pups from a lot of litters here right now. I think it must be 5 litters, I guess, because that would be Tuva and Leda and Vida Tekla, Leda, Tuva, Vida, and Luna. So there's pups here from all of them. But what we'll do now is we'll keep, when Tuva had females, and we're going to send one of them females down to Vida's brother. Amy's got Vida's brother down in the USA, and we're going to send that female of Tuva's down there. His name's Moki. He's a magnificent big fellow. He looks like Jaeger. And he is half brother to Jaeger, of course. I'm talking about Big Jaeger. Jaeger was a half brother to Vida. Vida's a Gata daughter. Jaeger was a Mia daughter. And so we were talking. I got an email, and I want to thank everybody that's stayed in touch and commented on all this and give me your positive thoughts and good blessings and feedback. Thank you. It was wonderful to get. I'm feeling 100 times better, and everything's going good. And I mean, I'm away now. Like the first week was a brutal stretch, but this is easy going now. You can see how fast they eat. They're nice now. The first week that they eat, oh my God! And you use a really small little bottle with a little nipple, and nothing comes out of it. And oh my God, it's just a little thing, and wow, it's hard to get them to start. And they don't want to start on the bottle, so the females help. But now I'm on the big bottle, and they can pull. Like when they suck, they're inhaling, so they can eat. And they can handle the food. They grow as fast as they can drink, so it's really good. But I wanted to talk about the situation that has occurred almost once every 5 to 7 years. And it's always based around breaches and C-sections that cause me the grief. Dakota was old. Let's face it, I knew he was going. I knew he was eventually going to go at some point, and he chose a time that was good for him, and I was happy for it. Like it's tragic, but I'm ready for that, right? I was not ready for Luna to go, right? She had a whole life ahead of her. That was her final litter. She could have just roamed the mountains, right? So I was not prepared for that. I'm never prepared for that. Nobody is. Those females are gone in the blink of an eye. It's not a good thing. But the old boys, you're ready for it, right? I mean, you're just ready for it. So you can celebrate their life. You can have a nice time. But going back to Vida's sister, one of the sisters from a long, long time ago, little Nola, Linda she could really relate to all this because she had Nola. So Nola was one of Dakota's daughters and a Mia daughter. And Mia's final litter, lo and behold, if she doesn't have a breech, I got to take her for a C-section. it's all the things lead up to a C-section, but anyway, different vet, different time, different place, go in, and be darned if they don't damage some nerve. I'm not even sure how to explain what happened, but Mia just lost all her milk, just had no milk, couldn't milk. I'm like, good Lord. We bring out there was 4 pups. We had no milk. Nola was the first one out. I think she got about probably a mouthful or 2 of colostrum. The others, we couldn't even get them to get going. The vet and I, we tried and we couldn't get them to go. And the only pup I ended up with out of that was Nola. It was a tragedy. They had destroyed Mia to milk. I had no other females at that time. So we raised Nola. Ashton helped me a lot that time. Her and I were taking turns raising Nola. And we eventually placed Nola with Linda down in Montana. And so Linda really liked Nola and really had a good bond with her, and that was the sister to Vida. Nola's passed on. But she was a wonderful dog. So when Linda called, she was really in touch with what I was going through. And of course, Linda then, in replacement of Nola, got the Tikka and Phoenix sisters, which were as a result of Tuva raising them, because Kemp had a C-section and didn't make it through that. So 100% of the C-sections that have happened have been complete disasters for the females. In almost all cases, the females have died, and died within very short order. I did not do an autopsy on Luna. It's not going to change my mind about my decision. I had a choice to make, and how she died doesn't matter. She's gone. The first one I wanted to know, because I thought it was really bizarre, and so that's why I did the autopsy on the first on Camp. But as far as Luna goes, I mean, odds are high, 50-50. It was the same issue, but it could have been something else. Could have been her calcium. But I watched the calcium fairly close when they're whelping, and there's things you can do, like, for example, I use what's called a gel calcium, so I can spread that right on the food. It's liquid type gel. It's thick, but it's liquid, and you can put it right on the food and they just eat it. It's much easier than trying to get a pill in or dissolving the pill and using a syringe, because Luna, when I was giving her calcium when she came home from the vet, because she wasn't eating, then I dissolved the tablets in water and just squirt them right in her mouth so she can get it in. Now, we had also put calcium right in her veins just to make sure she had plenty. We had tested her blood levels and saw the levels, and we gave her a shot anyway. Now, when I put them young pups of Vidas on Leda, and Leda was just about done milking, you see that's a tremendous load for a female that's at the end of her cycle, the end of her whelp, the weaning time frame. She's used up most of her calcium, and if you haven't been putting enough in there, you have to supplement when you put a brand new group of pups on, because her mental state changes and she starts pumping out milk. And they'll milk out calcium like crazy. So with Leda, of course, I took her to the vet, and I had an intravenous given, and I give her direct injection calcium too, so that everything is good. as well as feeding her, but it's better absorption through the blood. But my liquid stuff is very, very good, and it's high potency. So, and every couple hours I put it on there. And so what we did with Vida is we monitored that. Now this is the last time Vida will help. Vida's done now, she's finished whelping, and I have Vida's daughters that I'm going to pick one out of there and carry on. Now, you all know that I've got Vida's daughter already, Vana here, and Vana right away now, because of all that's went on, I'll take a daughter out of Vana right away, next litter. I haven't up to this point, but I will right away. My goal as a preservation breeder is to try and get a litter or two and then take a daughter. Not usually the first one, but you know, depending on if the females, if I'm really worried or not worried, or if I really want one. But by the second or third litter, I want that daughter. And then right at the final litter is when I want the daughter again. And what that allows me to do is stretch that genetic out for as many years as possible without changes. The males, it's much easier to stretch them out because you just don't need to breed them all. You can keep quite a few males and you just don't need to breed them all until later. And so Vida's brother Tikka, he's about to start breeding now. And Vida's already done, right? And Tikka's older. Tikka was born a year before Vida, and Tikka's just started. Moki, who is the full brother to Vida, is just starting. Like, he'll start actually in 2 years, because his mate is just a pup. So 2 years from now, he'll have a litter. Now, males, you see, can breed them quite late in life. You don't. You can start a male at 1, or you can start them at 6. It doesn't matter. You can start them at 8. For that matter, you can take litter out of them at 9 or 10. You can take litters at 11 if their hips are good and they got the mobility to keep up. The reason that old males can't breed is they don't have the stamina in the back end to keep up, because they got to keep moving with the female moving. And so not all females just stand still. Now, if you can get in there and help the female stand still, then an old male can breed till quite late. But like Vida, her dad was 11, coming 12, just about 12 when he had her. So they can breed late. So what we'll do is we have this whole genetic set stored on the male side. There's lots of males there. And now with these females out of Vida, out of Tuva, and of course these Luna pups, we've got that genetic there again. Tuva's not a Dakota genetic, but Vida and Luna are. But Tuva carries all the good Camp Ravenstone Bram bloodline. It's an exceptional matchup for Dakota. So those daughters of Tuva match with Dakota sons like a dream, right? We know that matchup. That's the Mon, the Luna, the Tikka, that's the Moki's. Not Moki, Moki's a Gata. But they're phenomenal dogs. So pretty cool. So I'm caught right up, feeling pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'll get you out of there.